All right, hello everyone, and peace of Christ, all of you. I hope my voice is coming good and clear. Please don't forget to invite your friends and share the link if you care, and if you don't care, just take a hike. Uh, as you see the title and the thumb, the Muslims always, the Mohammedans, when somebody convert to Islam, they make a huge party because this cult is dead. And the funny is that when they make their party, I mean, they don't even carry the news as it is. You will see like Zakir Yuka saying in his, and all the Muslims, not only him, father, let us zoom in more, Hilarion Hegi, a prominent priest. Anyone who knows what priest mean in the Orthodox Church, he knew that this is the lowest rank in the church. And there is many reasons for that. Education, and if you are married. So when the Muslim, they try to make it a big deal if somebody converted to Islam and he is a permanent priest. You never heard of something called, like, I mean, if you can go right now and see and look for the ranks in the Orthodox Church, and then you will see that the priest is the lowest. But for us doesn't mean anything to be lowest. What lowest mean? We are Christians, right? We doesn't have a. But this is how, I mean, they make it like a big deal. But this guy, he was a Catholic. He became a Protestant. Obviously, he has something wrong with him. However, but to prove that there is something wrong with this man, I'm not putting him down, but his belief now is going to put him down. Why in the world anyone, when I believe in religion, promise you will have an endless penis? Unless you are a pervert. Give me a reason. Why anyone, when I believe in a religion, the prophet of this religion have zero miracles, and the Quran witness for that? Why you, when I believe in religion, allowing you to have sex with the children? Why you believe in religion, allowing you to beat your wife? Why you believe in religion, allowing you to lie? I mean, I can continue. Religion of hate, religion of violence, religion of cheating, religion. I mean, the guy Muhammad himself, he went to his own son, wife, when she was alone, and he flirted with the wife according to the Muslim books. And you remember, the Muslim books, they try to give you the best of the image of Muhammad. So maybe he slept with her, but they say he flirted with her, and she was married. So why in the world anyone have a little ethic and dignity when I believe in such a garbage? So, my friend, for us, when I was a child, I learned that from what I saw around me, that fly go to garbage and bees go to the flowers. You got just one more fly. Prove me wrong. Any Muslim can prove me wrong. My Skype is open. You don't even dare to call me. They don't even dare to call me. If I go right now and search for people who converted out of Islam, I'm not going to search for someone is equal to a priest, a sheikh. No. What if we search and find out the wife of Muhammad herself left Islam and became a Christian? Is that true? Any Muslim he wanna get me busted? The wife of Muhammad, while he is married to her, she left him. She converted to Islam. She left him and she married a Christian man. But we don't. How many times I made videos about it? I don't know. So what a big deal. Anyone? Who is a Mohammedan would like to join us live on air? Anyone? If I type right now the name of a guy, his name is Muhammad Rahuma. Who is this Muhammad Rahuma? Any Muslim? The uncle of Muhammad left Islam and he converted to Christianity. The dean of the Azhar University left Islam and he became a Christian. But all of this will not prove Christianity to be right. So what? What a big deal. People, they might convert for a wrong reason. Doesn't matter what you convert to. Who is this guy? Any Muslim heard of him? This is your master. This is your master. He left Islam. He was teaching all the sheikhs in Egypt what Islam is about. Go check him out. Muhammad Rahuma. Dr. Muhammad Rahuma. Not a potato in the lowest in the shelves of the Orthodox Church. This is your master. This is one who thousands of sheikhs graduated under his shoes. But we don't make a big news about it. He go on TV, he invited a lot of Muslims out of Islam to Christianity, he debated the biggest sheikhs of them and he made them shish kebab and nobody dared to debate him. Even the son of the founder of Hamas, he left Islam. But we don't make a big, what a big deal. But the question here, who dare to call me and stay a Muslim? A challenge. Actually, before I go live, YouTube suggests for me a video. And this video from this kid, they call him Hamza. And I did not watch the whole video, but I move it because they are just talking stupid talk. And then they played a video of this rabbi. And then this rabbi, he said, the Christians believe in the Trinity and whatever that mean. And both of them, those potatoes, they start laughing. But my friend, he just laughed at your prophet and he gave him a finger. Because the video you are playing, saying, according to this guy, they don't believe that God have a son. But your stupid Quran, which written by the Muhammad W upon him, wickedness upon him, says that the Jews believe that Allah have a son. So who is lying, your rabbi or your God and your prophet? Who is lying? The Muslim, they try to fix it. They say, no, hold on. If you go to the book of Tafsir, it says one Jew, there is one Jew. Read it. The duct tape religion is not working. And your prophet penis, duct tape. Your prophet anus, duct tape. Your prophet mouth, duct tape. Your prophet Quran, duct tape. It doesn't work. It says the Jews. It says the Christian, they say, and the Jews, they say. Not one Jew and one Christian. So if you are saying to me it was one Jew, that is the most stupid answer ever. That means the Quran written by a stupid idiot who do not know how to speak Arabic. This is chapter 9, verse number 30. It says, the Jews said, all the Jews. So in the video he's playing, and both of them, they are like, you know, a bunch of kids. They are laughing, but you are laughing at yourself. You just gave finger to your prophet. Your prophet, he lied. So either your prophet lied and the Jews don't believe that God has a son, or your prophet told the truth. That means both of you and the one you are playing his video are a scumbag. You know, you will notice something actually. When the Muslims and the Jews, they side together against Christianity, that again proves Islam to be fraud. Because according to the Quran, it says, the most close people to those who they are Muslims are those who call themselves Nasara. And the most enemy to those who call themselves Muslims is those who call Jews. But what's happening? This man is an antichrist. He's a Jew. He hates Christianity for a very simple reason. Christianity is taking the children of the Jews and they become Christians. And now Israel losing population to Christianity. Nobody convert to Islam. You might find once, you know, like maybe 1, 2, 3 a year. But how many Jews convert to Christianity every day? We have big churches. It's called Messianic Jews, which means everybody there is Messianic. So when the Abdul, they make fun of the Quran. When the Quran says the most enemy to those who they are believers are those who call themselves Jews. The Muslim today, they are playing videos of Jews, and the Jews is saying, no, we have one, the same God. What? But isn't it the God of the Jew isn't it the God of the Jews? If we ask this rabbi, isn't it the God of the Jews? He came to Abraham as a man. The Jews make fun of Allah. How the Jews, they believe in Allah? The rabbi you are playing is saying that he think that the God of Islam is the same as the God of the Jews. But this is the Quran. The Jews make fun of Allah. Have you ever heard of somebody? He believe in Allah and he make fun of Allah? Who is lying? Your rabbi or the Quran? Do we have any Muhammadan? Mayday, mayday, mayday. If you are a Muhammadan and you think you have a belief and religion, stand up for it. Otherwise, I accuse you, all of you, to be fraud, defending what you do not know. And actually, this is why you don't dare to call me, all of you. I heard that this potato, he posted a video saying, Christian Prince, come and debate us. Okay, I will come and debate you. Give me your Skype. I will call you right now. Is that fair? What comment do you? Give me your Skype. Go live in your channel. I want to see, you will see, all of you, that those people will be crushed in 2 minutes. Do you dare to give me your Skype? Not that I don't want you alone. I want you to bring with you people who even speak Arabic. What about you? Ambush me and bring me hijab. All of you are a bunch of cowards. You don't dare. I invite all the Muhammadan who have a big mouth to ambush me. You don't dare. Potatoes. You do not need to come to my channel. You can go live in your channel and I will call you. You have no excuse. The excuse of I will hang up on you. No, you can hang up on me. Do you dare? All what you need to do, give me your Skype, I will call you immediately. So who is a Muhammadan? He dare to call me, so I will make him leave Islam the same as the wife of Muhammad. Any Muhammadan? Hmm? Any Abdul? They come with the most funny, stupid logic. The Muslims are logicals. Muslims, when they speak to you, they speak about logic. Who of you remember the video of Al Jazeera TV, 6 million Muslims leaving Islam? Did anyone have it still? I asked you at that time to download it and share it. Looked like nobody shared it. Did anyone download the video? Did anyone even save the video link? 6 million Muslims from Al Jazeera TV. The program is the Sharia and life. Sharia, I mean the Islamic law. 6 millions. Not 600, not 6,000, not 600,000. 6 million Muslims in one territory in the world. If anyone have the link, post it in the chat, please. We step by it by accident. Just actually, I mentioned this video a long time ago, right away when they broadcast. But after that, I could not find it in YouTube. But if you remember, I think 2 months ago, we were able to see it, and we found it, and we paused the link, and we asked everybody to download the video. And now it's time to see how many of you are serious and how many of you really download the video and repost it. If nobody, it means nobody here is serious. Do we have any Muhammadan? Until now, I don't see the video link of the 6 million Muslims left Islam in the chat. Where is the people who claim they care? And I said, guys, download it, share it, save it in your favorite. I will give you time to find it, maybe. 6 millions. Al Jazeera TV. And not only that, even your funny prophet, aka the devil, Mohammed, he prophesied. Now, he prophesied that Shaitan, he fought at the Adhan. We know that. But he prophesied that Islam will die. Did your prophet prophecy hurt your feeling? Muhammadan? Either you believe in what your prophet of Islam, wickedness upon him, said, or you don't believe. Any Muhammadan? Even we believe Muhammad is a fraud, and we don't believe in his prophecy, but we believe that Satan, he knew his quality. Satan, he knew the quality of his religion. He described Islam as a serpent. Why anyone want to believe in the serpent? The nuclear scientist Jews who converted to Christianity. Okay, so what? I mean, that's not a big deal. We are just here showing them how hypocrite, stupid they are. Desperate. Because Islam, who convert to Islam famous? Famous in what? Pimp, a whore, a desperate woman looking for a marriage. As simple as that. Somebody is angry from his family, so his society. All right, here we go. Our friend Sheikh Ahmed, he found the link. How many of you is going to download the video and reshare it again? Download it, because the Muslims can take it down. Who wanna give me one and he say, I'm going to download the video? 6 million Muslims leaving Islam a year. And if you are a person, I don't know if the video is just in Arabic only, because the program in Arabic, yes. But if anyone who speak, maybe Alfred, you know, he speak both languages, maybe he can make subtitle. You do not need to make all the video, you know. Make the part where he mentioned 6 millions. 6 millions. This is your potato. And this is Al Jazeera TV, the biggest Islamic terrorist TV in the world. And this is a very famous program, Al-Sharia wal-Hayat, and they are crying, avalanche, 6 millions, 6 millions, brother, they are leaving Islam, brother, 6 millions. Not 6 people. Guys, we know it's in Arabic, we know. But we hope that those who speak Arabic and English, they can add subtitle. Let us see how many of you care to do some work for the Lord, so people will see the truth. I know that many people are just numbers, you know. That's why the Lord, he says, not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who will do his will. There's many, they are called themselves Christians. We don't count numbers. We count quality. At least download it if you don't, even if you don't speak the language. And actually, I will watch it later, and I will see in which minute he say that 6 millions, I think 6 million 600 something, 6 million, and 600 something a day they leave Islam. Total 6 million a year a day. Do me a favor, if you download the video and add subtitle, send me, shoot me a link in Patreon. In Patreon, just make an account. You do not need to make a donation. Many people think that Patreon is a donation place only. All my videos is for free, which means you don't even need to do anything. Let us see how many Muslims would like and would dare to call me. Do we have any Mohammedan he accept the challenge? The truth is that your prophet wife, she left Islam. The truth is that there is a big war of apostate after Muhammad died, which means 90% of Muslims left Islam. There's a big sheikh, his name is Al-Qaradawi. He said, if not the war of apostate, Islam is dead. And Islam is dead today. This is why not a single Muslim country want to practice Sharia law. Hold on, there is only one, is Taliban. And Taliban are going against the will of their own people, because they are heavily armed and they are drug dealers. Do we have any Mohammedan? So when you make a big news about a permanent, like a famous big deal priest, he is just a priest. Priest is the one who do the funeral, baptism. He's the lowest rank in a church. You never heard of something called bishop? Go and check right now. And even if he is a high person, which is not, still, that will not change the fact that Islam is the most stupid cult ever. Do we have any Muhammadan there to call me? Right now, right here. Who dare? They don't. They don't dare. And the funny is, after this program was broadcast, I went to Jazeera TV and I downloaded. And then, less than 24 hours after, the whole program is deleted. Because I said, because I downloaded the video, but I did not have a link for it yet. So I was going to share the link from a Jazeera TV, and it's gone. But thank God I was able to download it. And this guy, he give you numbers. This is the guy who is in charge of the Dawah in whole of South and Africa. Ahmed al-Qat'ani. He's from Libya. He is the one is called the director of the minaret of the companion of the science or the study of Sharia. Crying like a puppy. Do we have any Muhammadan? Who is a Muhammadan would like to join us live on air to prove to us that Islam is not a fraud? Me, myself, I am very satisfied with the size of my private part. I don't want to convert to Islam and have an endless one. If you can call me and convince me that it's the right decision to join a right religion, make everybody his penis endless, please feel free. Anyone? I mean, how even you can walk with such a penis? Do you Muslims have a brain? How you can walk with it? I mean, if your penis is endless, it's in the front of you. It's not a tail. Like if it's a tail, I would say you drag it. But this is in the front. Anyway, let us see. Maybe there is a Muslim would like to call us. The only Muslim who called me is the one who denied the Hadith and the Quran. His name is Fakira. Hello? Fakira. Son of Muta. This is the only one who called me, who make fun of Muhammad. He said the F word to him and to Allah. This is the only one left between you. A mentally ill person. Do we have any brave Muslim? He believes the Quran is corrupt. He followed Rashad Khalifa. He don't accept one word of what Muhammad said, but he's a liar. When I ask him who is your prophet, who is his wife, he start giving me names. I ask him where he got this from. He said from the books of history. What a kid. So do we have a real man, a real Muslim? He have the courage and the knowledge to call me. Otherwise, what your prophet said is going to happen very soon. Did you watch the Muslim videos about the avalanche of the collapse of Islam? I did not make it. It's there. The avalanche. Any Muhammadan? Who is a Muhammadan? He there. Did your prophet say the truth when he said, verily Islam start as something strange? You know, sometimes you ask yourself if Muhammad being truthful or extremely truthful now. Something strange. Do you see how he described his own party? Something strange. Why Muhammad he called his religion something strange? Is that because it's so stupid? Is that because it's so awkward? Is that because only it fit for somebody who have mental illness? Something strange. Not my words. Not my words. And will revert of being something strange. So Islam now is not in the same stage it was in the time of Muhammad. We'll go back. This is your translation, not mine. It is narrated in the authority of Ibn Umar. And look, here, focus with me with the word authority. The authority of farting. Al-Khomeini, he made fun of the Muslim Sunni. He said to them, you have the biggest libraries of bathroom, which mean from penis and down. Just go and search for something about penis, anus. You will find endless numbers of reference. So a Shia making fun of the Sunni. However, the Shia are not better. I think their library about penis is even bigger. So it's narrated from the authority of Ibn Umar. This is Sahih Hadith. Verily Islam started as something strange, and it would again revert between two brackets to the old position. Thank you, translator. For being strange just as it started, and it would recede between the two mosques, just as a serpent crawled back into its hole. Who said that? Muhammad. Who described Islam as a serpent? Muhammad. Who is a Muhammadan he dare to call me and explain to me why your prophet described Islam as a serpent? What about like a lion? I mean, there's many animals. Donkey. Bird. I mean, all of those, they have houses. Each one of them have different name for the house of the animal. Okay, why your prophet did not describe Islam as a rat? I mean, why a snake? If the issue is the hole in the ground, you got a point there. But then Muhammad, he described the Quran, he described the Hadith, he described the Islamic faith as a snake. And they didn't read them. Because Islam came as a snake from the ground, and Islam is going to go back in the ground. What the heck is that? Who would like to call me and tell me where Muhammad he got his beautiful description from? If we go in the Old Testament, we will find that the serpent is Satan, presents Satan. The serpent presents Satan. So did Muhammad choose Satan to present his religion? Do we have any Muhammadan? Mayday, Mayday. CP, call me. Give me your Skype. If you are a Muslim, I will call you. Don't tell me call me. Anyone? So if you convert to Islam, you are converting to the serpent faith. Who said so? Muhammad. You want to prove me wrong? Feel free. Any Muhammadan? CP, you are a goat? No problem, you can call me whatever you want. But as I know, all your prophet names have to do with animals. As an example, Muhammad last name is Kilab, which means dogs. His wife, who took her from his son, she is the daughter of Jahsh, which means donkey. I don't know. I mean, how a donkey can marry a dog, I have no idea. So don't try to insult me, because remember, welcome my friend from Batangas. You don't have a Skype, you have WhatsApp? Oh, this is a Muslim, he don't have WhatsApp, so he want to talk to me, but he have only WhatsApp. You know, when the angel came to Muhammad in the cave, did he squeeze him and Muhammad said to him, what's up? Or Muhammad did not say what's up? I mean, this guy is so stupid when he make a story. A man came to you in the cave. And by the way, Muhammad, he cannot repeat the story, same story twice correctly. In different place he says, Jibril came to him out of the cave. So which one? Any problem. So the angel, he squeezed Muhammad 3 times. Did Muhammad say to him even what's up? Have you ever heard of somebody being squeezed by a different man? And he say to him, he say nothing. Why shouldn't you say to him, why you are squeezing me? Stop squeezing me. Stop touching me. Was it normal for Muhammad to be squeezed by men at that time? If you read the story, you will see that Muhammad did not even complain. He did not even ask him, who are you? He did not even say to him, who are you, man? Why you are squeezing me? A very normal conversation. And then Muhammad, the one who Muslims, they tell us he was bewitched, is the trustworthy for the Muslim. The guy bewitched. He imagined things happening. Look at the story in front of you. Aisha, she said. Who is Aisha? This is the Aisha. You know who's Aisha. Muhammad, he said, take the half of your religion from هذه الحميرة, from this donkey. The Prophet continued for such and such period, imagining that he had sexual intercourse with his wives, and in fact he did not. Well, if you flood the chat, I know you are insulting me, the one who called himself a Christian Prince, but you flood the chat, I'm going to block you. Next time, come back with your parents. Do we have any brave Muhammadan? Tell me how in the world I can listen to a person, even his sex is fake. And you know, by the way, when Muhammad is having sex, but not with his wives, he was having sex with who? Any Muhammadan can tell us how we can even trust this guy. This guy, you Muslims are saying to us that this person is illusionate and he see things never happen. Anyone, anyone watch a movie? It's called The Perfect Host. Anyone saw it? This guy, he write letters to himself and he send them to himself. The story is very interesting. This guy, even he imagined that he have people coming to his house having dinner. A criminal who did bank robbery, he was running between the houses, and then he saw this house. He looked at the mailbox. He found a letter sent from a girl to this guy. So he took the letter. Now he knew the name. He opened the letter, and then he knocked at the door, and he says, "I am sent to you by your fiancée. She sent you, she told me she sent you a letter from Australia. Did you have it?" But the guy, he's writing the letter to himself. He's mentally ill. And if you watch the video, you will see that he invite people to the house, but there's nobody, and he have sex with them. That is Muhammad, the perfect prophet. The second I saw this movie, actually, right away I got the conclusion, man, this is a story about Muhammad. He write letters to himself, he put it in the mailbox, he receive it, he open it, he claim he received a letter from his girlfriend. If you have time, react to Zakir Naik. I mean, I don't like those videos about reacting. I find him very funny. React. What react? I mean, this guy is an idiot. He said to her, first of all, you're not reading the book of John, and John is not Allah, is not God. But John is this disciple. He is in the Christianity, his disciple. And Muslim, they take what Muhammad said. He's a disciple. Muhammad himself is the messenger of Allah. John is the messenger of Jesus. Jesus is God in Christianity. So the stupidity is amazing. So if you don't accept the words written by a messenger, why you accept what Muhammad say? John is a messenger. Even the stupid Quran says that the disciple of Jesus are prophet of Allah and they are sent by Allah. Go to the Quran here. And then go here and laugh at the stupid Muhammad. Isn't it? This is a verse speaking about the disciple of Jesus. They are the messenger of Allah. And not only that, one of them is John, and the second one is Peter, and the strongest one is Paulus, which means Paul. This is to be Quran, chapter 36, verse number 14. And my friend, this is why they don't dare to call me, because they knew we have all their laundry here. Do this guy, Potato, Zakir, Quran, and you dare even to speak to me? Do you dare? Do you have a Korean translation from my book? Yes, actually I do, but I did not publish it yet. So maybe in a few months from now we will have the book published. Just wait for it. I will announce it when it's done. Otherwise, the book is ready. It's translated. The file and the book is edited, and I hope soon we will be able to publish it in Korean language. Do we have any Muhammadan? Mayday. You will see every Muslim insulting Paul and there is stupid books. Do you remember when Mimi Hijab, he says, did you say that Paul is sent by Allah? You know, this is Ibn Kathir reported from etc. This guy is not truth. So why Ibn Kathir is quoting him? And not only Ibn Kathir, and then I gave him a book, different book, and the stupid Mimi Hijab, he was saying, Ibn Kathir, I said, you stupid idiot, I'm not even quoting for you Ibn Kathir no more. This is a different book. He told the Muslims he would debate me, but he don't dare. He start asking me a question, hang up, ask a question, hang up. Do we have any brave Muhammadan who dare to call us? Well, my friend GW, you can contact me in Patreon, and maybe you can help in the translation of the other book, because we have only the Deception of Allah translated. So contact me in Patreon, and maybe you can help in translating Quran and science and the rest. I will appreciate that. And if you do that, I'm going to give you like 1 month supply of kimchi made by Allah. Hey Muslims, if a Korean he convert to Islam, is he going to have kimchi in the heaven of Allah? You know, actually, if you look at the promise of Allah in the Quran, you will die laughing. Have you ever heard of a God he promised banana? I mean, are you sure? Huh? Banana? Really? Why Allah he promised me banana in the Quran? I like it really. I wanted to go to heaven where banana is there. What about making a kimchi, you know, like a store, like a Korean who will convert to Islam, you know, they will get kimchi. What banana? Look at this guy here, he translated. Every Muslim, by the way, he give you different name for the tree. Among talah trees with the flower or fruits, piled one above, what the heck? They are piled above other. We change the translator. Hold on. This is Yusuf Ali. Shakir. Oof. In Shakir Ali become banana. Do you see how fast the transformation? The fastest transformation in the translation. Do we have any Muhammadan? Okay, you know, if you have the translation for the 6 millions, send it to me in the Patreon. Just you can make a comment, public comment, and post the link. I will check it out. Do we have any Muhammadan would like to call us? I like banana. Seriously. But I don't talk about that in front of atheists, because once I was debating a smart atheist and he asked me if I like banana. I said yes, I made a mistake. I was honest. He said, see, this is the proof that originally you are a monkey. And this is how he won the argument. The monkey argument. By the way, according to Islam, monkeys are Muslims. I mean, look at this stupid religion. The atheists, they try to prove to us that a human, they used to be monkeys, which is very stupid. The Muslim, they try to prove to us that monkeys used to be human. Let's go and see. Not only that, monkeys are Muslim who practice Sharia law. They are very conservative monkeys. Absolutely. There's a story of a female monkey, may Allah curse her. She was cheating her beautiful chimpanzee husband. And you know, imagine you are a monkey and you have a beautiful, handsome chimpanzee husband who have red ass. And what she do? If you see the whole story, by the way, this is not the story. The story is hilarious. You can see it in my book, Six on Allah. So he was sleeping over her arm, and then she saw this young, sexy, hot, and he have a big banana. Don't take me wrong, I'm talking real banana now. And he blinked at her, you know. So she took her arm slowly from under the head of the husband. And the poor husband. And what she do? She go behind the tree and they do play bing bong. Islamic logic. A Muslim monkey, she was stoned for fornication, brother. Shouldn't you stone Muhammad? He fornicate with everybody. Isn't it Islam is religion of fornication? Any Abdul? This is a monkeys and they are conservative Muslim. Isn't this is beautiful? Any Abdul? Who is Abdul would like to join us? Until now, zero Abdul. The only Abdullah who call us is Fakira, which is mentally ill. You know, this is why I advise men, never, you know, the man now, he thought what? He thought he's sleeping over her arm. So where she will go? You know? Man, you don't know what women they can do. Look what happened to Muhammad and Aisha. She was sleeping with Safwan. And then, after many witnesses, they saw Aisha with Safwan, 3 witnesses. Muhammad, he changed the Quran and he make it 4 witnesses. If the one who saw her 4, he will make them 5. If the one who saw her 5, there will be 6. If he, the one who saw her 10, he will make it 11. Allah, he waited more than 5 weeks to make a verse in the Quran says those who they are accusing Aisha, they are liars. You see Muslims are posting comment and they are getting aggressive, but they cannot call me. I don't know why. You know, remember, if you call me, do you know what you will get? Endless penis, small testicles. I mean, how Muhammad, he promised you endless penis, but he never thought about increasing the size of the testicles. So imagine your penis is going all the way to China and your testicles is like in the size of an egg. I am truly convinced that Islam is truly from God, because I found where the sun set. All my life I was in a search trying to find where the sun set, and then you know what, finally the only one who can give you answer for all your questions about geography, science, Allah. Until when he reached the place where the sun set, the place, he reached a place, take a note, he reached a place where, it's a place where the sun set. He found it. Who is talking? Allah. Do we have any brave Muslim? I have an idea for you, Muhammadan. You can, if you are a Muhammad and have a big channel, and you are telling your the potatoes who listen to you that Christian Prince will hang up on me, you can do this. You can call me and you are live. And if I hang up on you, people will laugh. Still you go live, people will hear you. So give me your Skype, I will call you. Invite, oh, don't bring them here if you want. Let them stay in your channel for safety reason. You don't want a Muslim to leave Islam right away. Who dare? I will call you. You do not need to call me. And the one who hesitate is the one who coward. Any Muhammadan? And how the Muslim they explain this verse? Brother and sister, if you go to the ocean, you see the sun going inside the ocean. But in fact, all of us we know that the sun is not going in the ocean. Zakir Naik, what ocean? What are you? And look, by the way, look how they corrupt the translation. Look, it says the Black Sea. But in Arabic, it says a spring of water. Look at the translation. They made the word spring a sea. We changed the translator. This is who? This is Shakir. Just to show you the scumbags trying to duct tape the garbage of Muhammad. Notice with me before I change the translation. Does it say sea or I'm making things up? It says sea. Black, go down in a black sea. It's in front of you. All what we need to do, we change the translator. This is Shakir. We will choose, and all of them are Muslims. Hilali and Khan. Okay, so is it a Black Sea? Oof, it becomes a spring of water. I will tell you why. Because there's a global warming. There's a global warming, brother. It was a Black Sea and now became a spring of water. Everything is drying out. There's a drought. So in Arabic it says في عين حمئة, in a dirty boiling water. In the translation they make it a Black Sea. And this is what Zakir Naik said. Brother, what an idiot. It says a spring of a blood. How he found the sun going in the black muddy water of a spring? They try to fool you, says, don't you see the sun going in the ocean? What ocean? It says a spring of water. Do we have any Muhammadan who dare to call me and stay a Muslim? And then the Muslim, they try to fix it. They say the Quran is saying he found it as if it is sitting. That's deep. Now I know what's happening. Allah, he forgot to add as if. Allah, he forgot, you know, he found it as if. Let us fix the Quran. As, I'm typing in Arabic. Come on. As, that is as, this is not as. I mean, English is funny. You type, just one letter can change the whole thing from as to as. You know, well, it fit perfectly there. This is as talking. But anyway, this is wrong. The Muslim now, they will be angry. As if it is sitting in a spring of muddy water. Now, the Quran, after duct tape, look better. Is that right, Muslims? As if it is. Yeah, the sun taking a deep dive, like Yasser Qadhi. Oh boy. Any Abdul? Hmm. Who is a Muhammadan would like to call me and let us add together as if it is to many verses in the Quran. So as you know, the sperm is coming from the backbone as if it's coming from the backbone. The sperm is coming from the ribs as if it's coming from the ribs of the women. The sun, rise as if it's rising, as you know. May Allah ask you. Mr. Yahweh is coming. I don't know what are you talking about, my friend, but sometime we as if I blocked you. So what? Change your name and come back. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. As if there is misunderstanding. Take it easy. Do I know he was talking to me in this chat? So if you are blocked by me, think about it this way. As if you are not blocked yet. Okay? And if I misunderstood you, think about it in even more beautiful way. As if I did not misunderstood you. You know? I mean, just use as if it is, as you wish. It will help you with many things. Like, if your wife, she is not good looking. Imagine as if it is beautiful. If your wife, she don't like you because you are the one ugly. Imagine that as if it is she like you and you are not ugly. So if your mother-in-law, she hate you, imagine as if it is she is not there. Here we go. I solve all your problems in your life. What do you want more? You have a problem with your bills? Imagine as if is you can have a lot of money and you can pay them all. That's it. It's solved. Prophet Muhammad solved our problems. The Muslims solve it as if it is. What do you want more? Very easy. Take it easy. Any Muhammadan from the religion of as if it is? You know, when Muhammad was having sex with his wives, but in fact he did not, isn't it this is exactly was as if it is about? I mean, everything in this religion is about as if it is. The Prophet was having sex for real or as if it is sex. And if he did not have real sex, so he was having what? You know, Muhammad remind me of a man, he is very, very heavy sleeper. So in the middle of the night, you know, he woke up. If you can say the word woke up, still is asleep. He want to go to the bathroom. So he went to the bathroom and he came back. And then after he slept, like a thought came to his head and he said, honey? He said, what? I'm sleeping. Don't talk now. He said, usually when we open the bathroom door, does the light turn on by itself? It was the refrigerator. And this is Muhammad. He go and he put his penis in the refrigerator and he think this is his wife's. Prove me wrong. Does the door, does it, when we open the door, the light come automatically in the bathroom? Muhammadans? Your prophet obviously is suffering from the same situation. The difference, he is not asleep, according to you. So what door he was opening? This guy was opening the door of the refrigerator. Muhammad was opening door of who? And he was putting his private part where? That is a good serious question. Who dare to answer it? And where is Allah, the one who protected the Prophet? And everybody is making fun of this Prophet. The Prophet and the black magic. The Prophet, his penis is not working. The Prophet, he cannot have sex. The Prophet having sex with the wrong people, think he have sex with his wife. So, I mean, can you name for me one thing about this man is right? Any Muhammadan? Until now, zero Muhammadan dare to call me. As if. Are you serious, Muslims? What about the hadith? Your prophet, he says that the sun set in murky water, a spring of murky water. As if. Maybe your prophet isn't, he is not, you know. Let's see, where is here we go. This is the hadith. Where is the as if? Mayday, mayday, mayday. Who is a Muhammadan would like to join us? 6 million Muslims leaving Islam a year. More than 600 a day. And you make a big party because a little priest in a church, and you call him a major priest. The word priest in the Orthodox Church mean the lowest. And nobody will convert to Islam unless he have a mental illness or a pervert. Just to show you how pervert Muhammad is, we made a video just yesterday about the wicked Muhammad, correct? Is it right if you see a man and he is married, happily married? Is it right to tell him, why you married a previously married woman? Why you don't marry a child? So you can suck her saliva. And look how the Muslim translate suck her saliva. Why don't you have a licking? Liking should be sucking for the virgins. For fondling them? What? In Arabic it says وَلِعَابِهَا. He is tempting the man to go and fondle children's and suck their saliva. True, or we are making things up. The man said to Muhammad, you know what, I did not want to have a little child as a wife, because already my brother, he left me 7 or 8 orphans, and I did not like the idea of marrying someone in their age. And what is the excuse for Muhammad, the wicked man, to seduce a man to leave his wife, who is adult, mature, to go and marry a child? So you play with her. How nice. Isn't it this is beautiful? A pervert. Literally a pervert. And as you see, this is very authentic hadith. They cannot say, you know, this is not true. And the man, he make it even more clear. I did not approve marrying a girl in their age like them. He have orphans. Read carefully. The man, he answers saying, after Muhammad told him, why you don't marry a child, not a young girl, so she could sport with you, and you could sport with her, and you could amuse with her, and she could amuse with you. Pervert. I said to him, Abdullah, he died, and left 9 or 7 daughters behind. I therefore did not approve the idea that I should bring a girl like them. Children's. A pervert. So who is going to accept Islam unless he is a pervert or ignorant, stupid? So I prefer to bring a woman. Do you see it, guys? This is not my words. This is the Muhammadan translation, and this is the very authentic hadith. So I preferred to bring a woman who should look after them and teach them good manner, not one like them. Do you see it? The man is not even complaining. He's going home. He's in a rush to go home. Obviously, he likes his wife. What Muhammad do? He tried to tempt him by marrying children and questioning his decision. Questioning your imagine, what do you think if you are a woman and somebody come to your house and he told your husband, why you marry this woman, man? Huh? Why you don't go after a child? You play with her, you give her a candy, she do anything you want. She for a candy. Not like a woman, you know, you need to do a lot of things to prove that you are a real man. A child, a candy. A toy. The child will be happy. She will be amused with you, and you will be amused with her. Pervert. This is what the pervert is about. Pervert pedophiles, they love children for a very simple reason. They don't know anything. So you can fool them so easy. Give them a candy. Little toy. And the pervert will enjoy their saliva. Any Muhammadan? Notice until now, not a single Muhammadan there to prove us wrong. You know, when the Lord, he said, from their fruits you shall know them. I want you to leave a comment later and tell me, what do you think about the fruit of Muhammad trying to tempt a man who is happily married to go after children just to play with them and abuse them? Don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and if you are old in the channel, don't forget to unsubscribe. And don't forget to make a like if you like, and don't forget to make a dislike if you don't like, because people don't know. You know, you need to tell them what to do, which is weird. Right away, if you are a Christian and you see someone doing the right thing, you do not need people to tell you what to do. If you are the kind who need people to tell you what to do, that means you do not know what to do in your life, in everything. And that will bring your mother-in-law to your life. Do we have any Muhammadan? I will give you warning, men. If you don't give a like, in the coming 60 seconds, I'm going to call every one individual of you his mother-in-law. I will ask Allah to make enmity between you and your mother-in-law. Have you ever heard of a God? He spread hatred and enmity, and he claimed to be God. So why he came? What is the point of this religion? To spread hatred and enmity. So if Allah is the one who spread hatred and enmity, what the devil does for a living? Anyone can tell me? You are not married? Just wait, I just put you in my list. I will get you a wife. All right? I will convert you to Islam in 2 seconds. You can get a wife. Islamic saying you are not a really Christian. You see, the funny is, when you are a nice person, a nice Christian, the Muslim make fun of you. Christianity is stupid. The second you start spanking their prophet, you are not a really Christian. So they make fun of you when they think you are a really Christian. And they ask you to come back to become a really Christian again the second you start spanking their faithy prophet. What say you? But the sister, first of all, Christian Prince is not really Christian. And the reason he's not Christian, because simply every day he thanks Prophet Muhammad. Zakir Naik, isn't it? Allah, he says, وَكَفَيْنَاكَ الْمُسْتَهْزِئِينَ. Christian Prince, first of all, I don't speak Arabic. Secondly, I don't know Arabic. Number 3, I don't understand the word in Arabic. Number 4, what are you saying? Number 5, how I know what you are saying? Number 6, if you translate, how I can track what you are saying? Number 7, Zakir Naik, just man, hold on. I just quote for you a verse in the Quran. That's all. And the verse says, Allah stop anyone who laugh at the Prophet. Are you sure? Did he? He Muslim, did he? Or it was a false statement in the Quran? So what we are doing now? If Allah, he stopped everybody who make fun of Muhammad, what I am doing exactly, and millions of people before me and after me would do. Zakir Naik, chapter 15, verse number 95. Now you know what I'm saying. Christian Prince, first of all, Allah is saying that Allah, he stopped all those who are making fun of Prophet. You are not making fun of Prophet. What the heck? What do you mean? I will explain to you. You say the Prophet is a liar. That is not making fun. Okay, I agree. You say that the Prophet has sex with his children. That is not making fun. You are stating a fact. Oh, okay. You got a point there. Exactly. I got you busted. And it's recorded. I'm going to put it in YouTube. Do we have any Muhammadan? Was this promise from Allah? Is it true? Or it was a fabrication? How Allah, he says, truly we suffice those. Actually, translation. Look at the translation. Look at the translation. I mean, horrible. Let us see different potato. Arbery. We suffice thee against the mockers. That's better. Do you see it? Against the mocker. www.mockingmuhammad.com. Did Allah suffice thee? Did he? Terrorism, threat, violence is not working. Find something else. Any Abdul, who wants some Greek coffee? Anyone want some green coffee? Once my neighbor, he said to me, what are you drinking? So I said, do you want to try? And man, the guy, he said he could not sleep all night. For me, I drink like 7-8 cups of those a day. And what 7? I mean, everyone, hold on. This one fit for 4. Yeah, about 16. 16 is small, a Greek cup. Yeah, exactly. A woman, Matt is saying, what about the girl she offered, Muhammad, he asked her to offer herself. And she said to him, how a queen she offer herself to the lowest. How a queen she offer herself to the lowest. She described Muhammad as the lowest. And she was right. And this is the hadith in front of you. And this is sahih. This is the wife of Muhammad. He claimed now she's his wife. She's his. The Muslim they add, give yourself in marriage. False. Give yourself to me, which take off your clothes. She said, how a queen, not a princess, false translation, give herself to a lower, a lowest, I don't know if I'm saying, not ordinary man. I mean, look at the false translation. They have no dignity. السوق وهل تهب الملك نفسها للسوق. How a queen, she offer herself to the trash. False translation. No shame. Mr. Z, one more time. You keep saying, CP, I need your help. I will block you. You are getting the help. This is why I'm here. So shut up. Until now, you'd not even ask a question. You keep saying, I need your help. I want to talk to you. I need your help. Do we have any Muhammadan? And we can take the word in Arabic and put it in the dictionary, you know, and you will see. Yeah, Abdul, his name is Abdul. Let us see how long he will stay there anyway. Do we have any Muhammadan? Well, I don't know. I mean, me myself, I don't like the debate. If they would do it, he do not know how to debate. Both of them, they do not know how to debate. Anyway, I wish them a good luck. You are lying about the Prophet. May Allah guide you. Sound like Fakira. You see, when you debate Muhammad, and you need to learn how to do it. Hello? Hello? How are you, my friend? You are a Muslim?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay. So what do you want to say to us?
Why are you lying about the Holy Prophet? Why?
Like what? What I said?
You said he rape women, he does this, he does that. Do you know you can be thrown in fire
He
in
do
the
what?
hell?
He do what?
You said he raped a lot of women, he did this, he did that. You are lying about him.
Okay. How you know I'm lying?
I believe you're lying.
Okay, what if I show reference?
He is the best of mankind.
No problem. What if I show proof from
So
your books?
you know all this you are
Hold
doing.
on. What if
If
I
you try
show,
all
my
this,
friend,
in Nigeria, if you do this, you're gonna be in big trouble.
my friend,
You're
if
gonna
I go to Nigeria, Nigeria will be in big trouble, not me. I'm asking you. What if I show you reference from your books that Muhammad, he did rape women?
uh, what book in the Quran or where?
In the hadith.
Let me see.
Okay, but if I show you, what you will do before I show you?
And if you show me, then I'm gonna respect you.
That's it?
I'm gonna respect that at least you said the truth, right? But you don't just stay on the TV and start insulting,
No,
calling him
you know,
names.
I don't want, you are saying to me, I'm going to respect you. Do you think I'm here coming
No,
for?
I'm gonna respect you for being honest.
No,
That
no,
I'll
but
know that
what you will,
somebody.
so listen, you are calling me and saying to me, the Prophet did not rape. So what if the Prophet he rape? What you will do?
You just show me. Show me. Let me see.
No, no, I will show you. I promise you. What you will do if I show you? This is the question. Are you just saying show me and then I respect you? What
No,
I get from that?
it's not matter of being like you need evidence, right? You need evidence for
No
something.
problem,
Let me see.
my friend. I know. Okay, so now
Because
I will put the
according
evidence.
to all our Islamic books, there is no way you're gonna say the Holy Prophet raped
No
somebody.
problem.
That's what I'm
But
telling
if
you.
there is, what you will do?
So what do you want? What do you want me to say?
I
You
don't know.
show
Are
me
you going to
Muslim,
stay? Are you going to stay as a Muslim if Muhammad is he did that?
and then I'll start questioning. I'll start questioning. It's
Oh,
not.
you will start questioning.
Yeah, I'll start questioning. So I
Okay.
want to see. I want to see that the Islamic book say this is not matter of maybe you're talking about another a book invented by the Christians. You know, you
Uh,
people are just something different. I don't know.
all right. But your question will lead you into what? You think you will leave Islam if I will it for you?
Please, you show me. Let me see something
All right.
first.
Let's see. Do you know Arabic? Hello? Do you know Arabic or I have to find it for you in English?
Hello?
Do you know Arabic or I have to find it to you in English?
You have to find it to me in English.
All right.
Most Nigerians don't speak Arabic.
All right. Let us see first. We'll try to find it first in English and then, if not, we will find it for you. Yeah, you know, and people will be witness because if I could not find the reference, you have the right to laugh at me, correct?
It doesn't matter. You have
No, it
to
matter.
show
No, no,
proof.
it
You don't
matter. No,
just say.
no,
You don't
no, my
just say.
no, my friend, it matter. I want you to laugh at me if I could not find the reference because that means I'm
Yeah,
lying.
I need to say.
Okay.
I need to say.
Let us see. I have the reference actually already in front of me, but in Arabic. But let me start first with the Arabic, and then we will go to the English. Try to find it in English.
All
But
right.
I will use Google Translation in front of your eyes. This is the book of As-Sirah Nabawiyya, volume number 2. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see, but it's too large on my screen. You
Okay.
is there any way you can send it to me too?
I will send it to you. No problem. Here we go. Let me send you a link. Give me a second. You can open it in your side, and you can use Google Translation if you don't mind.
Yeah, 340.
Okay, I gave you the link. Use Google Translation, and now I'm going to use Google Translation. Translate to Google.
You can translate it from your place there. Let me see.
Yeah, you can use Google Translate in your side. Just you open it
Yeah,
in,
I'll
in
do.
Google
This
browser.
this
Okay.
one is for later. This one is
Yeah.
for later.
So Muhammad, he just killed the Jews. You know,
Which Jews were that? Was it the Banu
Bani
Kanuka or
Qurayza.
Banu Qurayza?
Yeah. And now he took Safiya, and the Muslim they claim that now she is his wife. But how she's wife? Listen carefully. He just took her from her husband. He just took her from her husband. He killed her husband. Read carefully with me. Abu Ayyub was in the front of the tent. Muhammad, he just killed her family half hour ago. So when Muhammad he went out in the morning from his tent, he said to him, "What's wrong with you, Abu Ayyub?" He said, "Oh, Messenger of Allah, I feared for you from this woman, and she was a woman who you killed, her father and her husband and her people." Do you see it?
Hmm.
Did he marry her? Or he just took her from her husband? He just killed her husband.
I know, but according to our sheikhs, what they told us about this situation was was that that he married out of pity.
After what?
Yeah, out of pity that the parents they gang up against the
What
prophets.
parents? He just killed her husband. She is not a kid. It says in front of you, you killed her father. Even he killed even her brothers. He killed her people. You killed her husband. And not only that, she is a bride. She is a bride. She just get married. He killed her. He killed her family. He raped her. And in the same night, he just took her. And you know, according to Islam, you have to wait 3 months to be sure that the woman, she is not carrying a child from the previous man, correct? So not only he raped her,
But please, I'm trying to understand something. Like, is there anywhere they said he had sex with with her immediately?
this is the he did not go home yet. He attacked her attacked her town. He took her. He is in the tent. Don't you see? It's a tent. Muhammad don't live in a tent.
Yeah,
Okay,
he stayed.
they
He
are.
stayed there with her.
Huh?
He stayed there because there's this hadith that I read one time. I don't know if it is Sahih Muslim or Sahih Bukhari. They said the prophet stayed with her for 3 days. It's not like stayed with her for 3 days.
It doesn't make a difference if it's 3 days or 3 hours.
He said stayed. Stayed is different from sleeping with somebody. Say stayed with her for 3 days.
Why he
Stayed.
is staying with her? You know, are you allowed in Islam to have a woman in your bed, and she is not your wife?
No.
And where it says he stayed with her? Can you show me? What stayed with
So
her?
I
What do you mean
let me
stayed with her? Hmm?
just hold on, please. One second.
Okay. So your prophet, he took women against their will. You said to me, show me where the prophet he raped. Do you think if a man killed you, God forbid, and he took your wife, she would like to be his wife or to sleep with him?
I'm coming.
Huh?
I'm coming. I'm looking. I'm
No, I'm
looking
asking
for.
you now. You can look in your way.
Yeah.
Do you think a woman, you just killed her father, her parents, her family, her tribe, all of them? Do you think a woman, she will be happy to
But
sleep with
the
the man who...
story was that they gang up against the Holy Prophet. They gang up against him.
He can
That was
what?
what happened.
He can what?
Because I know the husband of SOFYA was Kinana. Kinana. The
Exactly.
guy, they
Okay.
gang up. They gang up against the Holy
His,
Prophet.
his what? His what?
I said they ganged up against the Holy Prophet.
So
They
what if he's
gang up
against?
the plan.
We are talking. You see, you're asking me. All of them, they are against him. I am against him. Is that giving you a reason to rape my wife if I have a wife?
All right, please. Let me just try to check this thing because I saw this. Um,
Was Safiya, this woman, was she happy for what Muhammad
okay.
did?
Are you saying the Holy Prophet is a bad person, or because I don't
No, I'm
understand,
not
because
saying he's a
what
bad person. I'm
because
saying he is
this
the...
is not really
I'm not saying he is a
clear.
bad person. I'm saying he is a very extremely satanic man. The woman, he just took her. The woman, she was putting dust and dirt in her head. Do you know how much sad she is?
Okay, please, can you check Sahih al-Bukhari 4212?
Okay, Bukhari
Sahih al-Bukhari 4212.
42:12.
12.
All right. This is the book of Al-Maghazi. Okay, what about it?
Yeah, he said the Holy Prophet sallallahu
It
alaihi
says he
wasallam
slept with her.
stayed with
No,
Sophia bint for
he
3 days.
slept. No, it
Stayed.
says he slept with her.
No, he says
My
stayed
friend, no, it says حتى أعرس بها.
in Arabic.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Here we go.
so are you telling me that this translation is wrong?
What the translation saying?
No, he said the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi
It
wasallam
says, hold,
stayed
read with
with
me, read with me.
Sophia
This is
bint.
your translation. Read your translation. The Prophet stayed with Safiya bint Huyay for 3 days in the way to Khaybar, where he consummated his marriage with her. There's no marriage, he effed her. Where he did it? In the way. This is the hadith you gave me. This is your choice, correct? So where he slept with her? In the way.
But this sound like the marriage is on already. He said where he consummated his marriage
My
with
friend, what
her.
marriage? You just took her against her will. You killed her husband. You killed her family. And now you call it marriage? And not only that, the woman she was, like when this happened, the woman she was putting dirt and shit in her head. She was screaming. And even Muhammad, he called him shaitan. He said, keep this shaitan away from me. Don't you know? Have you ever heard of a book? It's called Ibn Kathir.
Yeah, I know Ibn Qadhi. I know Ibn Qadhi.
Okay. What Ibn Kathir he say about this story? Do you know?
No, I never checked about it because this is not. It's only this. Even when the situation between him and Zaid happened,
This is
that
different
they
from Zayd.
said
And what about Zayd? Zayd
yeah,
is the same. Zayd is the same. But the difference is Zayd is a man. He have no choice. Muhammad, because he cannot have kids, his wife she forced him to adopt a son. And why and then he married her to a woman he like, so he can have access to the house. What do you think if I go to visit my
no.
son?
How can you say the prophets cannot have kids? Why do you
Hold
say that?
on, he
What
cannot have
about
kids.
what about Fatima? What about the
He
Ibrahim,
never
the
have
boy that
kids.
died?
He never
He
have
had
kids. Okay,
one
hold on.
Ibrahim.
If
Ibrahim.
Fatima is the daughter of Muhammad, are you going to go and wash naked in the front of your daughter?
Where did that happen?
What if I show you?
When she was young, maybe like a baby or
What baby? She was holding the curtain for him, baby. You wanna duct tape what happened to Muhammad baby now?
no, no. I said it might be when a little child, right? Maybe at 3 years old or something. Any parent can see this.
Okay, so you are now saying to me the prophet he was taking a shower naked, and his daughter, which is 3 years old, she was holding a curtain around him.
So how old was she?
Hmm?
How old was she?
I don't know. You tell me.
Because you know why? Everything the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did in his time, everything was like he didn't do anything from his own will. He did it by the will of Allah.
My friend, what will of
Subhanahu wa
Allah?
ta'ala.
What you see, you are trying now to duct tape again. Here we go. This is your prophet. Let me find the hadith in English. If this is his daughter, there's no way a man he will expose his Gentile in front of his daughter. Obviously, your prophet was having sex with Fatima too, the daughter of Khadija. And this is the hadith in front of you. You said to me maybe she was 3 years old. What 3 years old? A 3 years old can hold the curtain to cover the man who is showering. Do you see the hadith? I went to the Messenger of Allah during the year of conquest, and I found him performing ghusl. He's taking a shower, while Fatima was screening him with a garment.
Please, what hadith is this one? What hadith is this one? Because I
This
know there's a lot of false hadiths.
this is Sahih. This is Sahih.
Okay, let me see it. Let me see it. I
It's in the
don't
front
know.
of you.
Okay, because okay, can you send me the reference, please?
No problem. I will send you the link. Have all the reference for it, not only one hadith. Here we go. I just searched for the hadith in the website, and it give me all the links. Here we go. All of them, those are Sahih. This is Sahih Muslim.
Atamidi, Jamia Atamidi. Okay.
No, this is Sahih Muslim too. If you scroll down, you will find Sahih Muslim. Scroll down, you will see Al-Bukhari. Al-Bukhari. Do you take bath with your daughter naked?
Uh, See, okay. What I'm saying is that you see, if you have a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, there's nothing bad in
My friend,
taking
she is
care of them.
screening him. Screening him. 2 years old. She cannot cover even your knee. How she is
Uh,
screening him and she is 2 years old? And Fatima, she was 2 years old in the time of the Quince when he occupied Mecca. His wife, she is dead long time ago. Isn't she the daughter of Khadija? You want duct tape? So Muhammad, he don't,
you
this guy,
see,
this
what
guy,
you're saying is that you
his
see,
guy, my
Muslims don't,
friend, my friend.
see, Muslims don't
Listen,
see
listen, listen.
problems with
If you want to take a
Muslims don't see
shower, if you want to
problems
take
with
a
this.
shower, you are prophet of Allah. I'm asking you, do you ask your daughter to be with you in the when you are taking shower naked?
It depends on the age. Okay, let me tell you one thing.
Hmm.
You see, if my mom is taking a bath, right,
If what?
yeah, when she's, yeah, I'm talking about we Muslim, we don't see this as a problem, right? If she's taking a bath, she can, because her hand cannot reach her back. That was back in the days, right? She gonna say, "Oh, can you help me use this sponge to reach my back?"
No, no, no.
And I go to leave her. That
What
was
my
a
back?
different.
And same time, hold on. You are a naked man. Are you saying to me, you as a Muslim man, you can bring your daughter to the bathroom so she can do your back? Why? I mean, if he isn't disability, I will say maybe. Was Muhammad disabled? No. And she is not doing his back. She is holding the curtain for him.
Okay,
Now listen, listen, listen. I'm going to make things easier for you. Can you give me one good thing about Muhammad? I don't want to show you bad things.
no, he was a good man. He gave a lot of
Give me one,
charity.
good
He helped
thing.
a lot of
Okay, give
people,
me one
even though
good.
he don't have
Give me
money. He helped a lot of people,
no. Okay, give me how he helped a lot of
and
people.
he
Okay,
lived he lived according to
Did he
the way
help
of
his
God.
son? Did he help his son, his own son?
Well, actually, he didn't have any living son. Like it's only this Zaid.
See, exactly. I told you he cannot have kids. You said to me he have
And
daughters. He cannot have kids. So listen, listen.
no,
This
like
is not a question.
okay,
This is not a
he
question. The
had one
question
son
is,
with
did he
he
help
had one
his
son was
son?
Ibrahim.
Did he help his son by taking the wife from the son?
He didn't take the wife. The son said, "Oh, I don't need of her anymore."
No. Read the verse with me. Here we go. I will show it to you on the screen. Allah told him, Muhammad, according to the verse, Muhammad being hypocrite. The man he came to him after he heard his wife saying that your father was here and he flirted with me. And the hadith says
He flirts with her.
he flirted with her, with Zainab.
Oh,
Yeah. So he did not ask to leave her until he heard the news, obviously, that his father is sleeping with his wife. What do you say? If a man,
is this the Quran or what?
this is the Quran in front of you now, chapter 33, verse number 37. And imagine Muhammad, he made a chapter claiming that Allah told him, why you don't tell the man what Allah he told you that, what is in your heart, you want her.
So Allah is in the support of.
Yeah, he's in support of fornication, taking the wife from the husband. For a man, he claimed to be a prophet, and the woman already married. He have something in his heart for her, and she is what? She is now married.
Surah Al Azab, right?
Mhm.
Where you live in free slave on the day Allah has bestowed on this Muhammad. Because I know that the Allah made lawful for Muhammad to have some women from the cousin, from this and that.
Ah,
But I don't know if
see, okay, okay,
because
hold on,
this
hold on, hold
this
on. Why Allah want to make lawful for him to take the wife of his son? What does that mean?
did he take the wife of this of his son, or the son said, "Oh, I don't need it anymore"?
No, he took her. Yeah,
Ah,
let me show the reference. Here we go. I don't say things. Remember, you're talking to Christian Prince. This is Tafsir al-Qurtubi. Look at the screen. Volume number 14, page number 190. And here it says, and I will give you the link so you can open it from your side and you can use Google Translation. The beach. Here we go.
yeah.
All right. Open it in Google browser and you will see that Muhammad, he came to the women when the husband, he was not there. And he said to her, so he saw Zainab, and I will use English translation in a second. فأبصر زينب قائمة كانت بيضاء جميلة جسيمة من أتم نساء قريش فهويها. So he saw Zainab standing and she was white, very white, and she is big because the Arab, they like, big size women. In the world today we use it fat. And she was from the most beautiful women of Quraysh. فهويها, so he fell on her. He fell. He want her. He have lost. Hawa mean lost. وقال سبحان الله مقلب القلوب. Praise be to Allah, the one who flipped my heart for you.
He
So
said, "Praise be to Allah."
yes, فسمعت زينب بالتسبيح. So Zainab, she heard what he said, praising Allah for liking her. You have lost. So she told her husband Zaid. ففطن Zaid. So Zaid, he got it. Oh boy, they are sleeping together. So he came now. Now he came to Muhammad, says to him, please let me divorce her, father. She hurt me. She is very arrogant. She have a very bad tongue.
What book is this? Is it a
This is
tafsir
Al-Qurtubi.
or
Let me use Google Translation.
Kutubi?
Let
Okay.
me use Google Translation. I give you the link.
All
Interpretation
right.
of Al-Qurtubi, volume number 14, page number 190. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we
I-
go.
I-
And this is Google Translation. So
Oh, is this
Zaid
the book
never complained.
that have
Zaid
the
never
privileges,
complained. Listen,
the 19
Zaid never
privileges?
complained about his wife ever before. But when he heard that the wife and the father, they are doing monkey business together, he came to Muhammad and he slandered Zainab, saying she have a bad mouth. She's arrogant. I don't like her. Please let me divorce her. And what the hypocrite Muhammad he did? A second ago he was there flirting with the wife, and now he's saying to her, no, no, man, keep your wife, keep your wife. Do you see it? This is
Hmm.
your books. This is not a book written by Christian Prince, or even though I wrote many books, but this is not my book. This is your book. Those are your scholars, and we can show it to you from Ibn Kathir. I can show it from everywhere. So what do you think about a father? He come to the house of the son, and he flirt with the wife when the wife, she is married in the house of the son. And you are saying to me Muhammad is a good man. I say he's a very wicked man. What say you?
Don't disrespect him. Just let's just have this the conversation.
I don't care if you like it or not, my friend. I'm here to say the truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. He is a wicked man. You like it, you don't like it, you can hang up. You can run away from the truth. I did not say one word is not in front of you on the screen. And now you are saying to me, please don't disrespect. What kind of a man? He come to the house when the son is not there, and he flirt with the wife when she is married. Is that the ethic you Muslim you claim that religion teaching you? And not only that, the hadith says that when Muhammad, after he said that, Zainab, she said, Allah, he made a miracle. Each time her husband, he tried to have sex with her, Zaid, Allah, he made his penis swell.
How, where, which?
Okay, let me show you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The miracle of Allah. The husband, he want to have sex with the wife, and Allah, he made the penis of the husband. Look
Ah,
at this. The same tafsir, but now I will show it to you from the official government website of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Al-Qurtubi.
yeah.
All right. And now we will search for the word tawarrama, which means swell. His penis is swell. Here we go.
Let me say it.
According to the narration, أن زيدا تورم ذلك منه حين أراد أن يقربها. She say here that Zainab, she said that Zayd, he tried to come to bed to do boom boom to her, and then Zainab, she said, but he could not do it, and he could not do it except that Allah, he did not allow him to do it. And then the narration continues saying, and some of the story says that Zayd, when he tried to have sex with his wife after the Prophet to flirt with his wife, his penis is swell. And now let us use Google translation. Hmm?
So this is the same tafsir Kutubi.
Huh? This is Al-Qurtubi, yeah. This is Al-Qurtubi. This is official government website of Saudi Arabia. Let me give you the link. And you can use Google translation. And you will see how Allah, he made the husband penis as
So
well.
his penis
So the
swell.
husband who is lawfully married to this woman, Allah make his penis as swell. And the man who is not the husband, Allah, he let his penis go inside her. And he was always called by everybody Zayd ibn Muhammad. So Muhammad, even he stand in the street, he says, from now on, remember, Zayd is from me and I am from Zayd. He is my son. What do you think? I'm trying to find now the English, the word is swell, where the word is swell. Let us see if we search for the word. Where it says he tried to have sex with her, but he could not.
But the way, according to the way our sheikh explained this situation, he said, "Oh, it was handed over peacefully, and there was
Who
no
care about peacefully? I mean, what peacefully? The guy,
that,
he is nobody. He will kill him. Muhammad, you know.
because the
Okay,
guy
hold on,
said,
hold on,
"Oh,
hold on.
he don't want
So
his
if
wife anymore." He
a
said, "No more."
gang, the biggest gang who have a big army come into your house and he like your wife, and you are telling me peacefully.
Because you know what's wondering me, because as at this time he had about maybe 5 wives or 6 wives. So
My
it's
friend, why
very,
you are
very
changing topic?
unnecessary.
Do you approve a man coming to the house of somebody else, even he is
No,
not a, huh?
no, it doesn't make.
Okay, so what we call this? How we describe it?
But is there anything like in the Quran that is backing up all these that backs up all these hadiths and
Why you
tafsir?
are trying to avoid my
No,
question?
because
So
I
what do
don't
you
know,
think,
because I know
Muhammad?
there are a lot of
Muhammad flirting with the married women in the house of the husband, who is considered by him, not people saying rumors. He is the one who shouted, "This is my son." What do you think of a man he do such a
no.
thing?
If
Be
it is
honest with
true,
me.
it's not a good thing. If it is true, it's not a good thing.
This is not an answer. What good thing? Is he a bad person or a good person?
No, if it's true, is I don't know. I don't know what to say because I don't want to say something negative.
What do you mean you cannot say something negative? You just say this is not good. So what we call that? Huh?
It's if it's true, right? It's not a good thing for a prophet to do.
What does that mean? Why you don't want to tell me what the real description? He's a wicked man. Is that to behave a good man or a wicked man?
If it's true, that's a wicked person, you know.
He's a wicked person. Thank you. A wicked person who go to the husband house when the wife is alone, and the reason he is inside the house, why? Because he is the father. Women, she will not allow a strange man to enter her house when she's
No,
alone.
you know what's because Allah is putting is interfering in this situation. That's what baffles me, you know.
What? So I am a prophet now. I can have sex with women, married
Yeah,
women. I can
no,
take a
because
wife from
Allah is
you.
backing it
So
up. That I don't know what's
the
going on.
privilege of all cult leader is the same. He wants your women, literally, and your money, and he wants the authority, the power. And Muhammad, he worked for all. Did Muhammad, he made a chapter in the Quran speaking about his sexual privilege only. Is that true?
Where
Well,
sexual privilege?
actually, I
Where?
think in the same page we are reading, there is 16 privilege in the same page given
Okay,
to
what
Muhammad.
privilege? Let me see. What
16 privilege, more than half of them is about sex. He do not need
can
to
you show
pay.
me?
He do
Can
not need
you?
to pay. It's in the same page I gave you, Al-Qurtubi, the last one. Use
Okay,
Google Translation.
okay.
You will see the privilege, number 6, number 8, number 7, number 10, number 11.
Because it's later after this conversation, I'm gonna check everything. So that's why I want to six,
What?
16
Why this
privileges.
prophet, he have special privilege about money and sex? What they have to do? Isn't it Muhammad a Muslim or he's above Islam?
He's not above this. He's just I have
No,
to
he is
also
above.
know.
A Muslim, he
He's
can
not.
have only 4 wives. A Muslim, he should not enter a house when the man is not there. A Muslim, he need witnesses for marriage. Muhammad, he don't need witnesses. Muhammad, he can have sexual intercourse without any
He
witnesses.
can have wives. It doesn't matter. What about Sulaiman alayhi salam? How many wives does he have?
Suleiman,
So
he was
the idea of him taking
my
someone
friend,
else's wife, that's where the problem is.
Suleiman, he was acting as a wicked man. It's not God who told him to go and have those women. There's a huge difference. Here, Muhammad is claiming that Allah is the one who gave him permission. Suleiman was acting as a pervert king, and the Bible condemned him. There's a huge difference between somebody he repent and he asked for forgiveness for all the sin he did, and somebody he is glorified for his sin. This is what the Muslims they do. Read with me. All the privilege Muhammad he have,
Yeah.
privilege only for him. He don't even need to pay dowry for women. Every Muslim have to pay dowry. Muhammad do not need to pay dowry. Every Muslim need
Ah,
witnesses. Muhammad do not need witnesses. Every Muslim, he cannot have more than 4 wives. Muhammad, he can have unlimited numbers of wives. Every Muslim, he have to, it's all about sex. Look, all of those privileges about sex. Privilege after privilege after privilege. Why God he gave privilege for the penis of Muhammad?
hmm.
And then if you go to the Quran, what you will find? You will find the same garbage. The Quran said, it's made lawful for you the following. Who's left? And any believing woman, she can offer herself to the Prophet as a privilege. Why?
Any who
What
can
this?
offer
Listen, my friend. Your name is what?
Kazim.
Kassim. Listen. What women offering themselves to me have to do with religion, with God?
Where is that? Where is that?
In the Quran, don't you know?
Let me see. Like I know that they said you can marry from the cousin and from the mother's this
Chapter 33, the same chapter about Zainab,
Al
the
Azhar.
same chapter about Zainab, verse number 50. All those women are lawful for Muhammad, who nobody left. Muhammad is going to every woman in the world. And not only that, and all those are privileged for you only.
I gotta go to the mosque tomorrow to challenge all the
I
scholars.
have a better idea. Why you don't call the sheikh right now? Let him join us.
No, I cannot call him now.
Why not?
Uh, no, I cannot call
No,
him
no,
now.
that will be better because you see, I want you to hear how your sheikh he cannot answer. I want you to choose the best sheikh in town, or maybe all of them they are invited, and you will see they cannot answer. Muhammad is a pervert. You see, all false leaders who claim that sent by God, doesn't matter. Even there's a Christian man like that. There's a Christian priest. They are, pervert. They are false Christians used by Satan. So they sleep with women claiming that they are men of God, and your prophet is the same. Privilege. This is a privilege for him, and now he is making it. But the difference is that if a Christian man he use his own, let's say, influence to fool some women, he cannot claim that God told him. People will laugh at him. Here, your prophet is claiming that God gave him those privilege only for him about sex and money.
So please, CP, I want to ask one question. Is Aisha aware of because 75% of the hadith was narrated by Aisha. Was she aware of all these?
Was she what?
Was she aware of all these women giving themselves
Sure,
to
sure, sure. Even Aisha, she said, like, don't the women feel ashamed to offer herself?
her?
She said she was jealous. She was jealous. So she said in the front of Muhammad, isn't it a woman? Because women, they are coming and offering themselves Muhammad to have sex with them. Let me find it for you. Here we go. Aisha, she said, I felt jealous of women who offered themselves to Allah Messenger. Because now the cult leader, he convinced those women that this is what Allah want. You offer yourself, I sleep with you. And not only that, he said in different hadith that a woman, any woman, Muhammad, he slept with her or marry her, she will enter heaven.
Ah,
So now those women, they want to go to heaven. And not only that, they will have a free retirement because the second Muhammad is sleep with you, you have a free food, free shelter, protection for lifetime. You are the women of Muhammad. Do you see it? Aisha saying,
somebody was typing on the in the chat that Aisha was 6 years old. What 6 years? She was 18, not 6 years old. What 6 years old is
oh
this
yeah,
person
she was
talking?
18. But my friend Aisha, she was 18 when Muhammad died. Looked like your prophet, he married her after he died.
Oh,
Well, you are the one saying to me that the prophet, he married Aisha when she was 18. But she was 18 when he died. She was 17 going in 18, not 18. So according to you, your prophet, he married Aisha after he died. Because you are saying she was 18.
hmm.
Isn't it Aisha,
So
she said,
do you have reference for that? To how can she be 6 years old? How can somebody be?
here we go. This is your reference in front of you. It says exactly how many years she lived with him. So he married her at the age of 6. He have full intercourse. Before that, he was fondling her at the age of 9. And she did live with him 9 years. So what the total?
Hmm.
What? What the total? 6 year he married her.
I'm waiting
She
for it
lived
to
with
pull
him.
up.
She lived with him
Uh,
9
that
years. 6 plus 9. What the number?
Prophet married her when she was 6
Listen,
years old.
listen. 6 plus 9. What the number?
Hmm. That's 15.
Okay. So Muhammad, when he died, Aisha, she was not even 17. She was 15.
What hadith is this one?
This is Al-Bukhari.
This is
Very authentic. And here it says in the corner, until his death. You see it? I.e. till his death.
I believe because of this is in Sahih al-Bukhari. This is the
Okay,
most
so but
authentic
this is the
hadith
pervert. This is a
of
pervert
Islam.
behavior. This is a
Yeah,
pervert.
it doesn't sound good to me. It doesn't
So why you
look
don't
good.
leave Islam, my friend?
I have to make so many research because I have to go to the mosque tomorrow and question
Okay.
on
Why?
the
What
scholar.
about? I'm not going to ask you now to say you are out of Islam or think about it, but I want you at the same time, when you go to the mosque, tell them that there is a man, he challenged all of you together to prove him wrong. Tell them what happened. Tell them I could not answer him. Who is of you want to be the lion of Allah to join in a conversation? You can give them my Skype, feel free, invite them all, and call him. What do you
All
think?
right. Let me get to the mosque tomorrow because you believe me, as I'm talking to you now, my hand is shaking. My hand is shaking. It's very difficult for me to handle this, but I need to. I don't know what to say.
Well, for me, what I see, that your hand is shaking because the truth hurt, and you are a good man. You are trying to defend, but your heart, cannot take it. So this is why I'm saying to you, you better leave Islam sooner or later because this is a very, very bad cult. It's extremely, extremely bad cult. And this is why, you see how much confident I am. I told you just call right now your sheikh. Right now. Not even tomorrow. We are live. We are live.
No matter how, I have to let them know that somebody wants to talk to them. I
All right.
cannot
So
just call
let
them.
us do this. Next time I go live, you call me and update me what happened. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely I'll get back to you. It's
All
not
right.
matter
And
of
invite, please, anyone he think he can refute me. But I want you to tell me to do something. Don't tell them Christian press. Just tell them a Christian guy. I don't want you to lie, you know,
Mm.
but just don't tell them Christian Prince because the second they knew, they will take a hike. Just tell them there's a
All
guy,
right.
his name is a Christian, or he's a Christian, and he is debating me. I do not know what to answer him. Who want to join us in a conversation?
All right.
After they call, they will find out it's me, and then it's going to be too late and a very embarrassment if they
All
decide
right.
to run away. All
All
right,
right.
my friend. Thank
All
you
right.
for
Thank you
calling,
so much. Thank
and
you
we
so
pray
much.
for you to see the truth, and the truth will set you free. Thank you, Kassim or Kazim.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
There is no question that Muhammad is a very extremely wicked man. And those poor people in Africa. I forgot to mention to him what Muhammad he say about black people. Very disgusting. Very disgusting man. As you see, Muhammad is an invalid man. His ethic is below freezing. They try to duct tape him, making him sound like he is a good guy. He's the best in the world. When you cannot find one thing is not wrong about him. I mean, who in the world you will find that he go after his own son wife? He go inside the house of a man, he flirt with the woman, she is not there. He go after children, he have sex with the children. He kidnap women from their houses. He killed the husband, he raped the women. His cousin accused him that, Muhammad, he accused his cousin that he raped him. Muhammad, he imagined himself having sex. In fact, he did not. Muhammad was bewitched. Muhammad accused by his own wives, and Allah, he made verses about it. Muhammad, he need help of Allah against Aisha and Hafsa. I mean, name one thing is right about this man. Muhammad trying to tempt men to marry children. Muhammad is asking Jabir, his friend, why you don't go and have sex with a child so she can amuse you and you can suck her tongue and suck her saliva. What is left? So why in the world anyone want to leave the most holy, the most amazing, the miracle, the Messiah? He is a miracle. Not only he do miracle. You see, there's many sent by God. They do miracle. But the Messiah himself is a miracle. His birth is a miracle, for his God. The Messiah is the walking, talking, living, holy word of God. Not just walking, talking, living. He is holy. Even the stupid Quran could not deny that Jesus is holy. And Muhammad is not. Why Jesus is holy? Give me a reason. Only God is holy. Every human being is a sinner. Muhammad, he says, كل ابن آدم خطاء. Every son of an Adam is a sinner. Jesus is not the son of Adam. He's not. He is a son of God. Jesus said, I am from above and you are from below. And then the Muhammadan, they say to you, brother and sister, I turned the Christian to tell me one verse in the Bible said, I am God with me. Coward, liars, hypocrites. Every single statement Jesus said, when he said I am, he is saying I am God. And that is my holy Lord. That is the Messiah. While your prophet is the most pervert ever. And you try to duct tape him, but it doesn't work. Anyway, we have to say thank you to our friend Kassim for calling. At least he is brave, not like those cowards who don't dare to call. And he was honest. And we hope he will be able to find some sheikhs so we can shake Islam better and better. Until we see you again, I say may the Lord bless you. And this is your brother Christian Prince was serving you humbly for today. Remember always to find me the easiest way, because I use many channels and sometimes we switch channel in the blink of an eye because YouTube don't like us. Always you can find us in Patreon. You do not need to make any donation. My work is for free. You go to Patreon as you see it in the screen. Patreon.com/Christian Prince. Click at the last video. You can even see it without logging in. And then you will know where I will be. Very simple. Don't make donation. We know that the majority they don't care. However, our service is for free. The Lord, he said, for free you took, for free you give. May the Lord bless you, and until we see you soon again, this is your brother Christian Prince was serving you humbly for today. And Muhammad, as always, defeated by the power of the Lord. Thank you.